Hello everybody, my name is Sniping is Fun, and I welcome you all back to the next character in this long-running series of various newcomer ideas for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, for the Super Smash Bros. Series in general. We are on the road to 150 newcomer ideas that I've been doing for almost a year now, and we are at character 131 on the road to 150. We are almost there. I am almost done. 150 newcomers ideas. This is character 131, and as I mentioned in the last video, character 131 was going to be the fourth Mortal Kombat character on my series of videos, my fourth and final Mortal Kombat character I'm talking about in this newcomer series. I've talked about Sub-Zero, I've talked about Scorpion, I've talked about Raiden. Johnny Cage is the next newcomer I'm going to talk about. And before this intro gets on way too long, 3 categories, like always. Why does the character make sense for Smash Bros? Moveset ideas, and percentage chance I can see him actually getting into the game, as DLC, as part of the Fighter Pass, or maybe in a future Smash Bros. Game in general. But I'm not going to talk about a future Smash Bros. Game, Smash 6 or otherwise, until a long time from now, because once I'm done with this, I'm going to take quite a long break until Ultimate has had its run, and then talk about Smash 6. No Smash 6 speculation yet, but it will happen. But yes, Johnny Cage. And let's just get started. Why does Johnny Cage deserve to be in the game? Why does Mortal Kombat in general deserve to be getting a character in Smash Bros? Well, first and foremost, Mortal Kombat is one of the most major fighting game franchises, fighting game or otherwise, in the history of gaming. It was one of the franchises that created the ESRB back in the day. It has a long history with Nintendo. Practically every game from the original up until Armageddon had some sort of variation on Nintendo. The Super Nintendo, the Game Boy, the N64, the GameCube, the Wii, the Game Boy Advance. I think the Game Boy Color had something. The DS had something. Then it took a small hiatus, Mortal Kombat, versus DC Universe, Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat X, and now Mortal Kombat 11 is coming to the Switch. Mortal Kombat has a long history with Nintendo, and it is one of the most major fighting games of all time. And we see Street Fighter represented. Street Fighter is one of the most historical, long-running fighting games of all time, represented in Smash Bros. That has a long history on Nintendo, and it still does. Mortal Kombat's in the same boat. Mortal Kombat's one of the big iconic fighting games that come out of the big 90s boom of fighting games, alongside Tekken, Soul Calibur, King of Fighters, Street Fighter, numerous other ones, Fatal Fury, Virtual Fighter, a lot of other ones. Mortal Kombat had its big moment to shine during that, and it still continues to this day. People love the series. It is popular, and it has history on Nintendo, so because of its history in the gaming industry, alongside its history with Nintendo, alongside it having numerous appearances on Nintendo, thus returning to Nintendo, with Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch, I think it fits into the same boat to give Ryu a rival in terms of a Mortal Kombat character as possible, or another fighting game. But in this case, Mortal Kombat still fits the bill, and everyone compares Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, so a Mortal Kombat character would easily be a major rival for Ryu and Ken in Street Fighter. In Smash Brothers. And why Johnny Cage? Just like I mentioned with Sub-Zero, Scorpion, and Raiden, he's one of the main characters since the inception of the series. He has never missed one single Mortal Kombat game. He has been in every single one. He was part of the original 6 alongside Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Raiden, Liu Kang, and Kano, and he's been in every one since. And that pretty much applies to all 6 of those. And he's a historical, iconic, popular character. He has cool personality that would make for interesting taunts, let alone a moveset, let alone win animations and a fatality and everything. He would just be a cool character to add. And if they did not want to add someone like Sub-Zero, Scorpion, who, I'm going to be honest, is the key choices they would go for. It is honest. If they is one character they're going for in Mortal Kombat, it will be probably Sub-Zero or Scorpion. But if they didn't want to do those two, or Raiden for some reason, Sonya Blade or whatever, Johnny Cage is a very viable option. Maybe not as much as them, but he's a viable backup option if they did not want to go for Sub-Zero or Scorpion for some weird reason. But yeah, he's one of the most popular characters, one of the most iconic characters in the series, been there since the inception, and in terms of Mortal Kombat, long history with Nintendo, return to Nintendo, one of the most popular fighting game series of all time, and Sakurai has not been against adding actual fighting game characters. We have Ryu and Ken. So stuff like Tekken, Soul Calibur, Mortal Kombat, Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, is all open. He opened the door to pretty much any fighting game potentially getting in. So there you go. Moveset ideas. Now, I can mention with practically every single fighting game character I've mentioned in my list. Like numerous ones: Nightmare, Mitsurugi, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Rock Howard, Terry Bogard, whoever the heck else, Raiden, and I've done numerous Jin, Kazuya, Heihachi, any fighting game character. I'm gonna do the same thing I did like what they did with Ryu. In terms of Ryu from Street Fighter or Ken from Street Fighter, in terms of more Smash Brothers, they practically took their moves from the Street Fighter series and plastered them into the button combinations on their Smash Brothers interpretations. So pretty much most of Johnny Cage's moves will be like if you were playing Mortal Kombat 1 or 2 or 3 or Armageddon or Deadly Alliance or Deception or X or 9 or 11. His moves are pretty much ripped straight from the game. His punches, his kicks, his special abilities will all be in his moves. How he moves, how fast he is, how agile he is, thrown right in there. And in terms of Johnny Cage, he's trained in multiple different fighting styles. He knows karate, Jeet Kune Do, Shinto Ryu, Shorin Ryu, various forms of karate, forms of martial arts. He knows. He may be an actor, but he's trained in competition so he can actually be an actor, and he actually does do karate competitions. Before the Mortal Kombat tournament came up, he was kind of a fighter, and he used that training in his movie career, in his acting career. So he does have moves just like practically every single Mortal Kombat character. So, and for his smash attacks, I'm going to basically say it's a bunch of punches and kicks of karate, of Jeet Kune Do, hoping I'm pronouncing that right, Shinto Ryu, Shorin Ryu, various, like, however he punches and kicks in the game, those are going to be his smash attacks. Just like how I said the same thing for Sub-Zero, Scorpion, and Raiden. All his smash attacks will be like, and he'll be really heavy focused on punches and kicks. Like the other ones kind of seem to be more focused like on punches with some kicks. He's more like kicking especially than Raiden, but kind of like on the same level, if not a little bit more than our Sub-Zero or Scorpion. So he's going to be heavily focused on punches and kicks from karate and whatnot, from his various martial arts styles in his smash attacks. His special attacks are where all his crazy, weird, power-based, energy-based stuff like that happen. Like when I saw Sub-Zero, all his freezing, ice-based stuff would be specials. All the get over here chains and hellfires and shooting flames out and everything was in Scorpion's, and then all the lightning-based stuff was in Raiden's. Yeah, Johnny Cage has like the same thing. He can shoot, let me get this right here. He can shoot green fireballs and low-high force fireballs, and he can do a shadow uppercut. He can do a shadow kick. He can use nunchaku. Like when they started adding weapons into the mix, he does know how to use nunchucks. So I would say some of his special attacks should be him pulling out and just he's supposed to be like Jean-Claude Van Damme anyways. So have him just be like and just smack you with a nunchuck. That would be both freaking awesome and freaking hilarious, especially if you can make the character's animation like them having like this weird, like, what the freaking hell kind of look on their face after they get smacked with it. And he can do ultra kicks and eclipse kicks. So he still does kicks, but like the more special ones, like the shadow kicks where he like slides across the stage. And his ultra kick and his eclipse kick are more like power-based, energy-based forms of his kick. So his energy-based attack, it still is an energy-based attack for his attack. It's just physical forms in general. And he does, like I said, have ranged attacks because he could shoot green fireballs and force balls. So I'd say he could shoot his normal like, and it goes across the stage. Like, it goes at an arc too. So just so you know, so it's not like a straightforward energy beam ball thing, but he shoots at an arc. So you have to strategize and know when to throw it to hit your opponents. And a low and high force ball, so you can shoot it high up or low down. I would say that should be chargeable. So you should be able to, when you shoot it normally, you shoot just a normal range, but you could charge it up and do a high force ball or a low force ball. So it's less range, but it's closer to the ground. So it's more straight, or higher up and it comes down on an opponent. And like I said, the nunchucks, shadow uppercut, so he's like, and it should be more of an impactful uppercut, knocking them up like higher up, especially if they have high percent damage. That could probably be a very good attack, chargeable too, to knock the person off the stage. Shadow uppercut, KO, that kind of thing. And I wanted to include this attack. I'm sure Nintendo would not allow it. I'm sure they would censor it somehow. I'm sure they would do it maybe in a different part of the body. And if you know Johnny Cage's moveset, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Nutcracker! When he literally goes down and punches you in lower regions and low blows you. I'm sure Nintendo would not allow that, sadly to say, even though it's one of his most iconic moves. They might just have him just go down and he punches you in the lower stomach. So maybe he punches you somewhere else than in, down there. But they should still do the move. It just might be censoring where he punches you at, but it should still be in because it's one of his major moves and has been since Mortal Kombat 1, and he has done it in every single game, so you can't really cut it. That's why I want the Nutcracker to be part of his moveset alongside the green fireballs, the force balls, shadow kicks, ultra kicks, and the freaking nunchucks. So, okay, before we get to the final smash, his smash attacks will be a bunch of punches and kicks from karate, jeet kune do, various martial arts he knows. If you played the games, rinse and repeat, just like they did with Ryu and Ken, and I mentioned with Shin Kazama or Raiden or Terry Bogard, just throw their moves into the game. And then his special attacks will basically be the green fireball, the nunchucks, the nutcracker, the low-high fireballs or force balls, the shadow uppercuts, and the ultra and the eclipse kicks. There you go. So more energy-based strikes, and then the special nutcracker being, instead of being a smash attack, it's like a special attack, so it's in there. And then nunchucks and energy ball, ranged weapons, and like ranged moves. Now on to the final smash. When I mentioned for Sub-Zero, Scorpion, and Raiden were their fatalities, taking a fatality normally from one of the first 3 games. Normally it was 1 or 2. And the fatalities, realistically, the fatalities for a Mortal Kombat character that they get in the Smash Brothers should be in their final smash. You just have to kind of censor it a bit. Like with Sub-Zero, I basically just made him turn to ice and he just punches you and you just shatter into pieces, no bones or anything, but then you get automatically KO and get respawn. The fire, the hellfire, you take, like for Scorpion, I said taking off, he catches you in fire all the time, and you just blow up, no bones or anything, but then you get respawn. Raiden doing the lightning thing and then just freaking blowing you up and then you just respawn. No bones or anything, so it's censoring them, but not censoring them to the point where it's like it's taken away from the move. It's just censoring all the blood, guts, and bones and everything. Realistically, Johnny Cage has always kind of had meh fatalities until the more recent games, and I'm not going to have him rip over Mario. It's just like, here's Johnny! Like, that would, because he's had more interesting ones later. But early on, I was trying to go more so by, like, earlier games, like, in terms of fatalities, because those are more easier to censor. And he doesn't really have that many interesting ones. So instead of making his final smash a fatality, I made it a brutality. His one specifically from Mortal Kombat Trilogy, where he basically, he just does this crazy super fast combo of punches and kicks. He's like this. He just gets it. He'll get the smash ball, and then any opponent that's within the front distance of him, he just starts going forward like, and he does it really fast for like 15 seconds, and the opponent's like, and then he just and sends you flying off the stage. Except in the game, he obviously blows you up. He punches you so freaking much that your body just implodes upon impact. From all the damage he hits you, but instead he's just going to blow you up and send you flying off the stage. No, like it's going to be like an explosion effect, but you're going to be sent flying up and off the stage. That's basically what I go for his final smash. Okay, with that being said, percentage chance I could see him actually getting in. It has to be lower in terms of if Mortal Kombat ever got a character. Mortal Kombat's not like the highest third party to get a character in Smash Bros. Regardless of who they pick. But if a Mortal Kombat character gets in the game, as I mentioned early on in this video, chances are it would be Sub-Zero or Scorpion. And if it's not one of them, chances are it's probably going to be Raiden or maybe Liu Kang. I don't know about Sonya. Johnny Cage is like lower on that list. He's not like as low as like, oh, they're gonna pick Rain, or they're gonna pick Ermac, or they're gonna pick Shao Kahn, or they're gonna pick Shang Tsung, or they're gonna pick blah 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 blah, which you know is not gonna happen because they're obviously gonna go for some of the major main characters. But he's like behind maybe like 3 or 4 other characters at least. It's obvious they would go for Sub-Zero or Scorpion. Because those are the 2 major main characters and their rivalry throughout the series and just how massively popular they are, it's going to be one of those. if not them, it's probably going to be like a Liu Kang or a Raiden. And then it would probably be a Johnny Cage or a Sonya Blade. I'm going to give him a 70% chance. It's still low, but I'm saying 70% chance in terms of Mortal Kombat reps specifically. Mortal Kombat getting in the game is probably itself about maybe 40 to 60% range, depending on if they want to go off and market Mortal Kombat 11. But in terms of if they add a Mortal Kombat rep, I'd say about 70% because I think I gave like Sub-Zero or Scorpion like an 80 something. So I think I gave them higher, and then Raiden was like 75. So he's a little bit below Raiden in my opinion. I forgot exactly. So just assume whatever rating I gave him, I might have just given Raiden like a 70 for all I know. Just assume I just bump him down to 60 or something because he's like right below Raiden, who's right below Sub-Zero and Scorpion, because those are the obvious choices. Sorry to say, as much as I would love to see Johnny Cage get into Smash Bros. And be all like, I'm Johnny Cage, I'm cool. You know, an actor and all his taunts and what he says kind of thing, it's obviously going to be Sub-Zero Scorpion. Which is in itself cool because those two characters are awesome anyway, so there you go. But yeah, that's it for Johnny Cage, character 0131. And I want you guys to put in the comments, what do you guys think? Do you guys think about my moveset? Do you think the Nutcracker should be on it at all? Would they censor it? If they're going to censor it, you just don't want it at all? Does the Final Smash of the brutality make sense? Or is there a fatality out there you actually think he'd be kind of cool to have? His smash attacks, special attacks, reasons why I say it makes sense, what percentage chance? I'd say about 60 to 70%, being a little bit lower than Raiden, who's a little bit below Sub-Zero and Scorpion. And I think Mortal Kombat has a decent chance now, given that Mortal Kombat 11 is coming out, so it might be a marketing choice on Nintendo's part, especially that it's coming to the Switch. So there you go. And it does fit because of its history with Nintendo. So yeah, put it down there, discuss it down there, we can have fun. And when I come back, oh boy, I'm just waiting to see if someone either hates this or there's a comment war or someone saying something, because the next character I'm doing for 132 is going to be a controversial one. More so because of people just thinking it doesn't deserve the popularity it gets and hating it, and it's a very famous game now and you should know what I'm talking about, because what else would I be talking about? And it's not Minecraft, it's Fortnite. And when I talk about in character 132, I dub the Fortniter. But as we finish up with Johnny Cage, Nutcracker!